Wait, are we recording?
Yes, we're recording.
Well, welcome to
Two Girls, No Plan.
Where nothing is scripted
And it's all our honest opinions.
with a few chaotic moments.
So tune in
Buckle up.
and grab a glass of your favourite drink,
Unless
unless you're driving.
I want to move back. Hey guys, welcome back to Two Girls No Plan. Today we're back with part 2 of Is a Contiki Really Worth It? If you haven't listened to part 1 yet, definitely go and give that a listen first before continuing with this episode. Unfortunately, we completely forgot to record the introduction for this episode, so here I am doing a little voiceover intro, so I apologize for that. We also just wanted to take a moment to say a massive thank you to all of our returning listeners. We genuinely appreciate every single person who takes the time to listen to our episodes and supports our little podcast. And if you have been watching on YouTube but usually like to listen on Spotify, go give us a follow over there too, and vice versa. We'd also love to hear more from you guys. We're trying to grow the podcast and reach more people who might enjoy Two Girls No Plan. And honestly, we need your help. So after listening to an episode, if you could take just 5 seconds to like, comment, share it with a friend or family member, or even just send it to someone you think would enjoy it. It generally helps us to reach more people. Anyway, enough from me. Let's get into part 2. We hope you enjoy.
So obviously at this point, we're stressing that they're going to come and border security. Like you see it on Australian border security.
Yeah.
Jess and I are like,
Snip
what
it
are they
up.
going to do? Are we going to be like,
Search.
are we going to have to be put behind a closet or something? Be like, do you have any guns on you or anything? I just almost slipped too as well. I accidentally dropped my coffee.
Yeah, she did.
But so at this point, we're finally entering Amsterdam. Now, I don't think we got there until a bit later in the afternoon. Not necessarily nighttime, but later in the afternoon, didn't we?
We stayed there for 2 nights.
I think we got in at about 3 o'clock.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably around 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
I don't remember that first hotel though.
Mhm.
I'm trying to remember what it was.
So we walked in, big window. I wanted the left side bed.
out
You had
on
the
over
right side.
yeah, and then we went out that night.
Yeah. And we had to get, was it that night? Yeah, that night was when we had to, funny enough, get another ferry or get another boat across to get to Red Light District too as well. Because
That was the next day.
Yep. So either way, but remember we had to get on a boat and things like that. So
Yeah.
this time we got driven to, what did we do in Amsterdam?
It was that swing thing.
Oh,
and
that's right.
the hotel, the bar at the top of the
Yeah.
thing. What was the swing called though?
Giants. It was called just a giant
So
swing.
Basically,
And it was off a building.
sky-rise building. So the swing will go out past and you'd have a massive view of Amsterdam. It was so pretty. I loved it. Shani, you were scared. You were closing your eyes the whole time.
No, I had them open at one point, but I had to keep holding my breath. So I'm actually petrified of heights. And it's funny enough because I think I'm getting better and better, but then worse sometimes because I think I've got this stupid thing of like, I hate heights, but I don't give like a shit if don't give a shit, but I'm also not necessarily scared of death, but I'm scared of heights. Like, you know what I mean? So sometimes I'll do something and I'm like, and recklessly, and I'm like, oh, yep, no worries. But then other times we'll be standing on a skyscraper and I'm like, I'm gonna die. Like, it's a bad way to be, but it's just how I am. And so that day on the giant swing, I was like, I'm excited for this Contiki trip. I don't want to die right now. And we're like, wee! And just was like, put your hands up. And I'm like, no.
It was so much fun.
You literally have a video of just going like this and me going like
terrified.
This.
And then the lift to get up to the top of the building was cool too. That was a cool experience.
It went so fast.
It was so fast, and it was like a cinematic lift thing with like different lights going and stuff. So that was a good experience.
And we sat on a big horse.
Yes, we sat on a massive horse together. Which do you have those photos?
I do. And the thing is, this is why I didn't think anything of the girls at this time, because they were the ones taking the photos and we were getting along with them still at this point. So I thought nothing of it at this point.
Yeah. And then we got a drink, I think, at the bar afterwards.
Yes, we did.
Then we had to make our own way home, and we walked home that night.
Yep.
Which we did pretty well at walking home that night. Did we walk?
She was very, very good. The first night, I think we were just still in that weird group of everyone. And then the next night, that's when we started talking to Vanya And I still feel so bad. I cannot remember your name, my love. She lives in Australia as well. Funny enough, Vanya is from Chile, and our friend down the track, Dana, is from Canada. And the other girl we're friends with,
I really
is it
can't think
Georgia?
of her
No, it's
name.
not
No,
Georgia.
can't think
She's
of her
from
name right
Geelong, though.
now. Yeah.
Leisha, Ashley.
Nah.
Oh, it's going to
None of
bug
the
my head
above.
in.
It's gonna annoy my head as well.
But she was so lovely. And I felt bad because remember, she came up to us and felt like she was excluded, and Vanya was excluded too. So we were like, you guys are part of our group. So the
Yeah.
second night, it was you, myself, Vanya, and this lovely other girl, and we were in the red light district.
Yes, the second night.
And it was a fucking eye opener. And oh my God, I remember seeing a guy get kicked out, and it was the funniest thing ever. I was like, you deserve it, mate. I'm like, don't you dare respect these women. These women are working hard for their money, and you're being a dickhead. Kick him out, you know?
So it's literally, if you don't know what the red light district is,
I
it
didn't
is
know what it
a
was.
few streets. So basically, during the day, they just look normal shop fronts overlooking the water because Amsterdam's a lot of water canals everywhere.
Yep.
But then at night, these shops open and they literally have a red light behind them, and there's women in
Yep.
like either half naked, lingerie, that sort of stuff.
Yep.
And they're basically sex workers.
Yes.
They don't like being called prostitutes. So the sex workers, and basically if anyone wants to do anything with them, they literally just walk in the door, do their deed, and then they back
And
out
they
on
pay.
display. They're
And
like Barbie dolls behind. That's the best way to explain it.
I
It's
think
like
it's
a
a way
Barbie
of-
doll in a package,
Yeah.
pretty much.
and they have to dance and show themselves off. And there was things like live PORN shows and things like that, like live
There's
ones.
live action
And
shit that goes
I
on.
didn't know of something until Jess mentioned it, was that if they're sitting on their phone, that means they're having a break because that means they've just done the deed.
Which
But
I
yeah,
kind of, to me, it was an eye opener in a way that it's kind of gross to me,
yeah.
in the sense that they're when they were on their phone, I found that gross because they'd just done the deed and then there's men already lining up for them and
there was some girls that they'd have like a line of men waiting for them, and I'm like, is it because of how they are and things like that, or just how they look? And I'm just like, my God. And a lot of the men weren't even men that lived there. A lot of them were tourists and things. There was a lot of, excuse me for saying, but there was a lot of Asian men there. There was a lot of Australian men there. There was a lot of other European men that weren't from Amsterdam. It was very wow.
There was one guy that was getting refused a lot by multiple girls. I took note of it. He was going to each, and they obviously, he must have had a black band or something on him, and none of them wanted him.
They can just pick up on it, because I'm sure that some of them are doing it for a very long time, so they can just pick up on hey, no, I'm not going to have
we're not going to have you in our little room behind the window.
But it was definitely an eye opener for Amsterdam. And Jess's grandfather is actually from the Netherlands.
Just out of Amsterdam, there's another area called something Dam as well, and that's where my pa lives. So
Rotterdam? No.
Yeah, Rotterdam. That's it.
There you go.
Rotterdam is where my pa grew up, and I loved being there because I was like, this is where my family history is. We went to a club that night too. But for Shani and I don't think we were there for the partying much.
The thing is,
it wasn't really appealing to us, I think.
The question is, should you go on a Contiki? And I think if you're a very big, hard partying person, absolutely. Thing with me is I've never been a party. I go to parties and I'll have fun at parties, but clubs and bars I'm not the biggest fan of. Jess has always been a club, party, bar things, but as we've gotten older, she's kind of become more like me, where we're like, oh, no.
Yeah.
Mind you, if someone said to me, if I said to Jess, oh, can we go to a bar for just an hour or so, and obviously she wouldn't drink, but I would have a drink, then I'm sure she would do it, but only if it's for an hour, because obviously she can't handle any longer than that, really, unless she really wanted to. But again, even before her conditions and stuff, she was finding that she wasn't as excited to go out, and also should be exhausted more, like how I was. I just could not be bothered to go out.
Could not be bothered.
And now it's even harder for her. But never know, I might force her out for 1 hour of a night just to go to a bar, and at least I know if I want to leave, she'll be like, yeah, I'm with you.
I'm out straight away.
There was one night where there was one night where I was having such a fun night that I would have actually stayed out later, But our friends ended up getting, this was in a different country, our friend ended up getting a bit uncomfortable and she was getting a bit like over it. And she said, can we go home? I can't remember this. She mentioned it to me and she said, Shani, I asked to go home and you were having so much fun, but you dropped everything and said, let's go home.
Yeah, because you know how it feels on the receiver end of it.
Yeah, so that's why I never try and.
The next day at Amsterdam, because like we said, we stayed there for 2 days.
Yep.
No matter what, it was on my bucket list. When you go to Amsterdam, you
Ride
go
the
on the
bike.
bikes. You ride the bikes, okay? A lot of other people on the Contiki, no one else did it on the Contiki other than us.
Our
were-
tour guide was very surprised we did it.
Yeah, she was like, "Are you sure insurance wise and stuff?" And we didn't realize we were covered for insurance, but I didn't realize I was just like too keen to get on the bikes. So we're trying to find this bike shop and to hire bikes and we couldn't find it. So I had to ask a few locals
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't know how to obviously talk German, Dutch, whatever you want to call it. So I was just like, excuse me,
Bike?
higher. And they're looking at me like, what?
They're like, is this girl high? Like, we're not, Amsterdam's known for having, green stuff there, but they're looking at her like, are you high right now?
And you're like, hi. Anyway, we ended up finding the bike shop. We all hired a bike. We had a little basket, which was my dream as well, little basket at the front.
Did you have to change your bike because it was too big at one point though? Was it you?
I think it was one of the other girls had to change
it. Wasn't me, but one of the other girls had to change their bike because it was just too high up and it was just like too uncomfortable too as well.
So we rode our bikes around for majority of the day.
I almost got knocked off my bike. I got knocked off my bike twice technically, and oh my god,
I nearly got run over by a tram. And a guy in front of me almost got run over by a tram.
And they kept yelling at us to move out the way because obviously, mind you, we did get to points where we'd catch up speed and we were fine. But there were times where if we slowed down a bit too much, they'd be like, "Oh,
yeah, literally," because they're so used to riding their bike so fast. We was too slow for most of the locals.
And it started raining at one point too as well. Remember it started raining at one point? We were doing so well up until I started getting terrible stomach pains at this point.
Because of all the apples that she was eating.
That's what we blamed it down to. But I stopped eating apples and then I still was getting it, but not as badly. But it was really bad. Like, it was horrible. Like, I had such intense pain. We had to try and find somewhere for us to use the restroom. And I don't know if you know, in Europe,
you have to pay.
You have to pay like €1 or €2, whatever it is,
to use the toilet.
And I remember we went in and I paid for it, and I tried to pay for it. It didn't go through. I tried to pay for it again. She goes, "Don't even worry about it. Just go straight." I was like, "Are you sure?" She goes, "It's fine." Like, she was really nice, this lady. Remember, she didn't even.
She destroyed that toilet.
I went in there for ages and nothing was coming out. It was horrible.
There was a guy that was waiting and I felt so bad.
He was waiting there for like 20 minutes. It was horrible. And poor Jess is probably like, "Are you okay?" She's texted me while I was on the toilet. There's a guy waiting. I'm like, "I'm sorry." I'm like, "I'm in pain. I need to just, Finally, I think everything came out and we got on the bikes. I felt a bit better, but then it obviously hit me again and it kept hitting me. It was horrible. Like, there was into a club and it was like, it hit me again. It was horrible. But at this point, we got through, returned the bikes, and then we got those chips in Amsterdam too as well. Those chips were so good.
I got what sauce? I got like a peanut sauce, I think, on mine.
And I got the one that
it was delicious.
I got the truffle mayo, which is what our tour guide.
Actually, that's right.
I got the truffle mayo because that's what our tour guide told us to get, and I got it, and I still think about those chips to this day.
Chips
they were crispy, they were fresh, and they're in this little blue cone thing. So if you see a lot of people in Amsterdam with those blue cones with chips and sauce, get them and get either the mayo, the satay sauce. Get something other than ketchup. Like, get something different, because if you're in another country, try it.
The day was quite warm too. I think we got a little bit sunburned.
We did.
We got drenched with rain, but then we dried up as well because it started to get warm as well. But I'd say overall Amsterdam experience for me was a 9 out of 10.
Yep.
For me.
Yep.
I did wish that I got to see the Anne Frank museum.
That's some people did get to do, but we just missed out.
There was also flamingos in Amsterdam too, which I regret not knowing that as well, because I would have loved to see flamingos because I've never seen flamingos. So other than that, I would have rated Amsterdam a 9 out of 10 for the 2 days that we were there.
I loved Amsterdam so much. It's one of those places I would 100% go back to. but I would give it about an 8 out of 10. Two reasons for me is I think for personally for me, I wouldn't go back to Red Light District just because
Oh
it was
yeah.
such an eye opener, and I have so much respect for those ladies that I just don't think I could watch them do it again just because, it I know they need to do it, unfortunately, but it still breaks my heart. And also 8 out of 10 only because of just the pain I was experiencing that day because it was just not nice whatsoever. But after Amsterdam, where did we go, Jess?
We went to Berlin, which is in
Yay!
Germany. Um,
I
dot
saw Jesus in Berlin.
yes, Berlin was not a pretty city. I would say it's
Smelt.
very like it's very similar to Melbourne. The one thing that stuck out to me was the pipes wouldn't run underground; they were running above ground. They had
Yes.
like pipes running through the city and stuff above ground, which I
And
thought was an eye opener.
and we saw a massive rat run across the road as well. And that was a very
Yeah.
big eye opener too as well because their rat was like the size of our possums.
But in terms of experiences, I actually would have said Berlin was fun. Like I was expecting worse when we first arrived. I was
Yes.
expecting it not to be as fun as what it ended up being, but I had one of the best times in Berlin. Like
I did too. It was
we
actually
winged it and it was so much fun.
Jess and I have this really nice photo of us. And it's just like just I don't know what it is. We're getting ready to go out to the club. We've got our stubbies in hand because in,
You
Europe,
can
most
drink and
places
walk
you can just
around.
walk around. And it's great because if you drink it, you put it down outside the bin so people can take it and donate. And I have to admit, the alcohol is pretty cheap over there. And that night, the not our tour guide, but someone that was helping us, like it was like an extra tour that was free, take us around. He paid for all of our drinks that night. Remember, they did a tab and he
Yeah,
just paid
true.
for all of them. So I got like a cider or like a Summersby and Jess, I think you bought a beer or something like
Yeah, I had
that.
a few beers. But yeah, it was like a drinking tour that we went on. So
Yeah,
we basically learnt about
the art.
the art side of Berlin, which is really big for art and stuff, especially in a lot of the abandoned buildings. They just turn them into like art museums
Which
and
I
stuff, which was
love, and they
interesting.
support it. Like, honestly, I know in Australia, sometimes we have people doing tag-ins and it's not, it's not accepted. And I can understand in certain things, but look at that mural that's now being taken down too now, the one of the bird that
Yeah.
everyone loves. It's like there's certain things I don't see why you can't keep up, but they just choose to take it
Taking them
down. But
down,
in
yeah.
in Berlin, they're just like, no, if it's
Express
beautiful and
yourself.
it's nice,
Yeah.
keep it up there.
Espresso. One of my things that I found interesting is there was this during the war with the Berlin Wall, there was this little section that neither side claimed, and in that little section, someone would jump over daily, and built a cubby house,
Yeah.
and that cubby house is still there to this day.
Wow.
And that was like a piece of history to me that I found really interesting. And I'm not really a history person, like I don't really, but that kind of stuck with me, and I felt that was quite interesting. And that was the same night that we were walking around drinking and stuff.
I love that. I
Yeah,
love
it
that.
was that was and we went clubbing as well. We did like a little cage dance, Shawnee did and whatnot. We didn't
I didn't think
stay
I was gonna
for
fit in that cage either. I don't know what it was. I think I did, but I was like, I was a bit embarrassed, just like go and do it. And then I ended up getting a great video in there. So
yeah, exactly. She slayed. But yeah, we had a good overnight. I think we ended up getting HSP or something that night too.
we did. She's
Yeah.
right, and that's when we met Dana.
Yeah, and that's when we met
We went
Dana.
out. I wasn't hungry that night, but poor Dana was so hungry. And Vanya and our other friend went to bed early because they're both in the same hotel room. And Dana was like, "Can we get something to eat?" And I was like, "All right, I'll let Jess know. We'll go get." And we walked down, and you're right. I think it was like a kebab place or something. And we went and we had something to eat, and that's when we met Dana, which was so nice. And
It
then she ended up
was.
being part of our little crew too as well. So she would
Yes.
go off in her other group and then come with us sometimes too. I think near the end of it, we predominantly all hung out together, which was quite nice.
Yeah, because she was having a little bit difficulties fitting in as well. She didn't feel like she could be herself that
Yeah,
much around the other people that she was hanging out with as
yeah,
well, which was a common thing across the board.
yes,
But yeah, that was our Berlin. Like we went up to the top of a tower,
yes.
which didn't cost much. Like we on our first official day in Berlin, we didn't spend anything, but we had one that like other than lunch and stuff like that.
Yeah,
We had one of the best bloody days.
it was
It
so
was
good.
so fun. Oh, and they also bathed naked in the middle of a park in the
Oh,
city as
yeah.
well.
I can't show you a picture, but I have a
No.
picture.
we can't. But yeah, that was an eye opener as well.
I forget about that. And yeah, you're right. We paid for that little tower thing to go up. And a lot of places, they don't make you pay or they might accept a donation. This place made you pay, but there was other places we went to, like the one that we went to in England. I don't think they made us pay, but they made us do a donation. And that was absolutely fun. I don't mind putting like a couple euros or a couple pounds into something because obviously that's how it works.
Overall, Berlin, I would rate a 7.5 out of 10.
Okay. I actually might be the same.
There
I'm
we
going to say
go.
7.5 out of 10 too as well.
7.5 out of 10. And where did we go next, Shaniqua?
We went to Prague, Czech Republic.
Which I honestly,
Yes.
this was the
Salzburg.
one city or country or whatever you want to call it. I think it's a city that I had no idea about. I
Yeah.
had never heard of Prague before. I had really low hopes for it because I never heard much of it. But to me, it was one of the most beautiful cities. It was
Yes.
gorgeous. All
Yep.
the old buildings and the
Yep.
terracotta buildings are so beautiful.
I think we did get a bit worried though because Jess and I kept saying, and I think this is between trips anyway, we kept saying we'd get like euros and Czech and Swiss franc, which is all the currencies that we needed. Got to a point where we're like, oh my god, we need an ATM right now.
Yeah, we had to when we got there, we had to find an ATM to get Shrek. I say it's a Shrek. How do you say Czech Republic?
Yep.
Money out,
Yep.
which is so confusing.
Yes.
To do. I think we ended up going after walking around a little bit during the day. We saw a castle.
Yes.
We saw a cathedral, which was really nice. And
we paid our respects there too as well.
Cathedral,
yep.
So beautiful.
I don't have it. I don't know who took it, but I know one of the girls took a photo of us actually, at the stand, paying our respects.
Pretty sure that was Rome, that one.
Oh, was it? Oops.
Yeah, the cathedral, like the Gothic cathedrals.
Oh yes, I know. Yeah, now I know. We got
so that was to Prague, but like that was what we did during the day.
Mm-hmm.
And then we went out to dinner that night. We went to what did we have for dinner? I can't even remember what I had.
Is that when we went out for dinner?
Yeah, with Dana and
Vanya. And Dana.
Yeah. And then we got the ice cream and also the other girl that we cannot remember her name.
We had such a good dinner that night. Do you know what we had for dinner? We had Mexican, remember?
Oh yeah, that's right. We went to a Mexican
restaurant. I got enchiladas or I either got enchiladas or a burrito. Either way, I ate it with a fork and knife, and most of the time it's an enchilada. Oh my god, it was so good. And Vanya knows how much I was trying to like work up on my Spanish, and she was helping me out. And the person that was at the restaurant actually spoke Spanish, so they're both communicating, and I'm like, oh, I'm learning.
They're like flirting.
It was so cute.
It was.
And then I was like, Vanya, can you ask him for no onions? Because I do not like onions. Like, I don't mind if it's cooked, but on this dish, most of the time for Mexican dishes, it's usually raw onion and cilantro and things like that. I was like, can you please ask? She's like, yeah, I got you. And he was like, yeah, no problem. No. I was like, thank you so much. That was such a good dinner, and that ice cream was so sweet and so indulgent. I know my sugars ended up going through the roof that night, but that was such a good like dessert. I loved that.
It was like, so it's a donut. It's like a cone donut that they make freshly, and then they put ice cream and you choose the toppings that you want in the ice cream.
Our friend though, that I can't remember her name. No, she didn't drop it. Remember, she didn't get ice cream with it, so she just had. Oh yeah,
she ordered it wrong somehow, and she just got chocolate and donut, just a pure.
She still liked it, but I was like, girl, you need ice cream to like clean it up a bit. Yeah. But that was such a great night, and that Mexican food I can't stop thinking about was so good.
Yeah. So that I think we only spent one night there,
and then we go to my next favorite place.
We went on the cruise the next day too.
The cruise? No, that was Italy.
In the water.
That was Italy, wasn't it?
No, it was Prague. In the city, and we're having our little drinks.
Oh, we're having our drinks, and do you know what? Jess and I weren't gonna drink, and then our tour guide Maddie had a really nice looking drink, and me and Jess were like,
we got to do that because we got to take cute photos.
And then we got it, and we've got you guys are going to see so many photos from this trip. That's why there's so many parts to this Contiki trip, because there was drama that happened, but there was also so much like fun stuff that happened. And something I should interject actually to start with a bit of the drama is one of the days where I felt like we had issues with a particular girl. I actually I don't want to say confront her, but I actually asked her in the elevator, which mind you, even Jess was like, I'm surprised you had the balls to actually ask. And we went into the elevator, and I was like, do we have a problem? Like, did I do something wrong? And she's like, no, it's fine. I think people just drift apart. I was like, okay, cool. I just want to make sure we're okay. And she's like, yeah, no, all good. And then I left, and I was like, oh yeah. okay. I was like, I think she was just being fake.
Yeah,
But
I was like,
mind you, though, I can't talk because by the end of the trip, we actually got was drunk with her and another girl and things like that, and we ended up doing shots together.
yeah,
So it got a bit better. Favorite spot has something to do with the sound of music.
yeah, Salzburg.
Which, mind you, I had not have seen the movie. I'd seen clips of it, and they put it on for us to watch when we were traveling there. But I fell asleep through most of it.
Yeah, I think I was falling asleep too. I think the bus is where I like caught up on with my sleep most of the
Yeah.
time.
Oh, that's another thing. Between each location, if it was a long travel day, we'd Jess and I would literally be sitting there like pretty much same times I found, or opposite times sometimes because we'd get each other recording us sleeping and stuff. And sometimes I'd have my sunglasses and I'd be like that. And
Should be hilarious.
she'd be like that too. And you got to remember, if we hadn't had much sleep the night before, like we got in, let's say 10, 11 p.m. at night, and we're up at 6 being, traveling, we'd be tired. So we
Yeah.
would fall asleep on the bus. And if we weren't sleeping, we were listening to the tour guide. If we weren't doing that, we were editing pictures for Instagram and TikTok. And we did a TikTok video each time we went to a new location. So Jess and I were keeping busy on the bus too as well.
Yeah.
And
In between like the days, like when we say we go in Berlin to Prague and whatever, it's generally a 6 to an 8 hour bus drive.
yeah,
So
yeah.
imagine how bored we would
I,
be.
I think the shortest bus drive between locations was like 3 hours.
Yeah,
And
that
that's
was the
still a lot of,
shortest.
and I didn't use the toilet on board once. And so many people used it. You weren't allowed to take a shit. You'd only be able to take a
You
piss.
used it? I never used it.
Oh, no, 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 that's what I mean.
Oh,
I never
I was
used it.
gonna
Not
say,
even
yeah.
once.
I
Never
think
used it.
I think a lot of people were trying to avoid it as much as possible
Yep.
because it also would stink out the bus,
There was
especially if you did a shit.
there was a few times the boys had a bag though to throw up in because
Yeah.
they got sick and things like that, and you'd have to double wrap the bag. It was
Alcohol.
horrible.
But yeah, so Salzburg, we arrived and we did a little tour during the day,
Yep.
which was we got some souvenirs and that sort of thing, and then
Yep.
I think we stayed in a hostel at this place.
Yes, I think so too.
There was a few dramas at the hostel with
Oh,
people
people.
apparently breaking in and stealing things, and it was
Yes.
also really hot, so you had to hire fans as well.
It was so bad.
Did we
We
end up?
didn't hire a fan,
We actually
but
got through it.
we were going to, and we didn't end up doing it. And I think it's just because I couldn't be bothered. And I already had an issue at this point with one of the vending machines not giving me my freaking drink after I paid for it. And so I had to go get them to refund. It was such a freaking issue. And I was getting so pissy at this point because for a drink, like for instance, if I spent €5, that's 10 Australian dollars. Like, of course, I'm going to be a bit like, give me my money. So I think at this point, just we're like, it will get through. It's fine.
Yeah,
It was such a shitty night's sleep, but we managed to get like a couple hours of sleep. I think no matter
yeah.
what, we got like at least an hour or two of sleep most nights. If we couldn't sleep that night, like there was definitely nights I slept and Jess couldn't sleep, and then vice versa. So, but I think we managed to get like an hour or two, and that's why most of the time we'd sleep on the bus a lot.
Yeah.
It was so hot that night, though. My
And
God.
we went to like a little farm that night as well, which was fun. And we got really drunk.
Jess and I got
There was
so
schnapps.
wasted.
So it was like a schnapps farm, so an alcoholic schnapps, which is like pure alcohol.
And can I just mention something? There was a couple girls with us, not in our group, but other, because there was a lot of girls we actually got along with that we weren't like always hanging out with, but if we would sit, we'd always have a great chat with, like Caitlin and
Kaylin and fuck, I talked to her the other day.
yeah, but there was so many such lovely girls that we'd talk to. It got to the point where if they didn't want their drinks, they'd give them to us, and
Yeah.
Jess and I would get drunk. I think it got to the point where she's like, I'm not going to give you my wine or my schnapps. And I'm like, that's fair enough. But, and then there was another thing where we were getting snaps tasting, and there was like 4 different schnapps we're tasting, and you'd have to like salute.
You salute and then
and
you have to drink it.
And there's a video of Jess and I doing that too. And then there's another one where we have our hands linked and we drink. And oh my goodness,
We got very drunk.
we were
And
so
then
drunk.
we sang karaoke on the way home afterwards.
Yep. And we yeah, that night was.
But picture it, it's this beautiful farm overlooking the Salzburg,
And they
they
filmed Sound of Music there.
they do the food for you.
Oh, it was
The
beautiful.
meadows. I ran from the meadows and took a really really pretty video with one of with Vanya. And there was also turtles as well there, a pet turtle. But that was Salzburg, and
Oh,
it
there
was a
was
karaoke.
too.
So yeah, we sang karaoke on the way home, which was quite fun. We
Yes.
got really drunk, and I'm pretty sure we were really drunk in the room that night too. Oh, we were gonna have a party in our room, but then everyone was too tired, and we didn't end up doing it.
Yeah.
And then yeah, so that was our
And I
part
think that's the
2.
night that we also ordered room service.
Yes,
We did. Remember, we ordered room service that night.
probably.
We got like a can of drink and we got like a pizza or something like that.
Probably. God, I can't even remember.
I can't
It
either.
was like so much going on that trip that I couldn't even remember the ins and outs of like everything to the core.
But if you want to hear more, you have to check out in the next episode because there's
Yes.
so much more to talk about.
There is so much, including the few times that we got rejected by someone not wanting to sit next to us. So tune in next week for part 3 of our Should You Really Go on a Contiki?
Bye,
Bye,
guys.
guys.
Good job, mate.
Thank you for listening to Two Girls, No Plan. We hope you enjoy this episode.
Please like, comment, and share.
We look forward to chatting your ears off on the next episode.
Oh, and please do not forget to hit subscribe.
We need to pay these bills.
Like, really, we really do.